In today's video, we're going to show you exactly what you need to know about the Waterloo region. But first, I'm going to have to get in front of a computer to show you exactly what the Waterloo region looks like from a map perspective. Let's go ahead to my office. All right, we're in front of my computer right now, and I'm going to go through the Waterloo region, the location of where it is in comparison to other cities within Ontario. Also, we'll look at travel times. We'll look at the three major cities here that encompass the Waterloo region, which is Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge. Let's delve right in. And as you can see on the map here, the Waterloo region is right in the center in this red dotted area. And we're about 3 hours to the southern border, southwestern border of Windsor. In terms of the eastern border, Niagara Falls, as you can see here, we're an hour and a half drive. Go back to this map. In terms of the travel time between Kitchener and Toronto, it's about an hour and 14 minutes. I'm recording this midday. It's Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. So obviously during rush hour times, it's going to be much more slow in terms of the amount of traffic that you're going to encounter when traveling down the 401. It is getting better. It's much better than it was just a few years ago now that the HOV lane, as well as the highway expansion between Milton and Mississauga has opened up, where they've gone from 4 lanes to 6 lanes. Or even 8 lanes at times, and it makes an absolute massive difference, even in relation to getting to the airport. If we look at Kitchener, Ontario, which is the main city that encompasses the Waterloo region, when traveling from Kitchener to Pearson International Airport, again, 12:30 in the afternoon, it's going to take you about 55 minutes to get there. This is, of course, and we're not taking the 407. For those of you that are unfamiliar about where the 407 is and what it is, it's a toll route within Canada, and you don't need to take it in order to get to the airport. If you are traveling from the Waterloo region, you don't need to take it. Sometimes it is a little bit quicker. If you are in a rush, it might be worth it to take the 407. But a fun fact is the 407 per kilometer is the most expensive toll road in the world. So it's totally up to you if time is money, as they say. But yep, that's about 54-minute drive, and it all depends where you are in the Waterloo region as well, right? If you're on the northern tip, Elmira, of course, you're going to be another 10-15 minutes. This is in good traffic. New Hamburg, you're going to be an hour. Cambridge is a bit closer. Of course, that depends where you are in Cambridge. If you're on the southwestern end here, it's going to be a little bit longer. Then, of course, if you're in Preston or Hespeler, and I'll make a subsequent video actually covering each city in particular, because Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge differ quite a bit. And even within Cambridge itself, there is a large difference between Hespeler, Preston, and Galt. But let's further look into the region back in my map here, and we'll delve right in. So this is Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge. We'll look at the western side of the map here with places like Stratford here. This is just outside the region. Probably the largest city closest to us other than Guelph, which is on the eastern side. But looking at the western side of the map, Stratford's a really nice town. You do get a little bit more bang for your buck out there. It's about a half-hour drive from downtown Kitchener, and it's right along the Highway 8, so it's very easy access. Also, you have Shakespeare, a very, very small community, and Tavistock. But if we look at the Waterloo region itself here on the red dotted line, we do have New Hamburg, which is a very small town, but you do get a lot of great conveniences there. Like, here's the Nith River, very beautiful place. As well, there's enough things to do, and there's enough amenities there, like grocery stores. Your weekly activities and your daily needs can be met within New Hamburg. So if you are looking for a place where you're going to get a bit more bang for your buck out there, you're not going to be saving hundreds of thousands of dollars by traveling out here. You might be saving 5 to 10% potentially on a house. It might be worth the commute. And New Hamburg itself is very close to Kitchener. So if you look at New Hamburg, right here, this is Highway 8. And Highway 8 is really nice. It's an actual highway, unlike some highways in Canada where it doesn't really seem like a highway. So here you have 4 lanes. The traffic within this area is very easy. There's never any real buildup here. It's a nice, pleasant drive. And of course, on the western side of the region here, there's some rolling hills rather. And yeah, it's definitely a nice little commuter town, as well as Baden offers it's very similar to New Hamburg, but Baden is smaller. And for daily conveniences and grocery stores, not everything can be met within Baden, unlike New Hamburg. So if we go a little bit further down, we have Hayesville, small town. These are very small villages here. New Dundee has a population of about 1,200 people. Quite nice, very nice. It has a very Muskoka-esque vibe to it. If you are living here along the Alder Lake, very nice. Beautiful in the summer, very picturesque. And I think it's a great little location if you're wanting to get out of the city of Kitchener or Cambridge, and you still want to be rather close, because really you're only 5-10 minutes. You're only 5 minutes to the border of Kitchener, which is really nice. Back to the other image here. Ayr, Ontario is another little location right on the southwestern end of the region. And the great thing about Ayr is it's a self-sufficient town as well. You'll be able to do most things there, much like New Hamburg. But the great thing about this is you are located on Ontario 401, which is quite nice, quite convenient, and you're just 5 minutes away. So you get a lot of conveniences here. It's a little bit cheaper than, of course, Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge. Looking on, we have Cambridge. Now, Cambridge is comprised of 3 different towns that have amalgamated over time, and Cambridge is the second smallest city in the region, just a little bit more population than Waterloo. If we look at Cambridge itself, this is Galt here on the south end. Galt is absolutely beautiful. It's a very European city in terms of the architecture that's down there. And then, of course, the one drawback of Galt, of course, is the fact that it's on the south end of Cambridge. So this Highway 24 that links up to Highway 401 is actually quite far. You're going to be spending a lot of time in traffic. If you are on the south end, it isn't the greatest for the highway. You're probably 20 minutes in rush hour traffic to get to Highway 401. That's an extra 20-minute commute. It might be a good trade-off if you don't really go to Toronto that often, if you're not accessing the 401, if you're not heading east towards Pearson Airport. Maybe that's the right spot for you on the south end of Cambridge. Now, Preston's nice in terms of the amount of innovation that's happening down there. A lot of infrastructure being built, with King Street East being built up again in Preston. They've had a lot of renovation work, and a lot of money is coming into this area in particular, because a lot of people, again, are moving from the Greater Toronto area and really investing in this area. Lots of infill happening within this area. Cambridge Centre is the main mall here in Cambridge. And then, of course, you have Hesper Village. Hesper Village is nice. Not as nice as Galt, but again, you do have very easy access to the highway here, with not 1 but 2 points of entry to Highway 401. Also, you're also close to Kitchener if you do have to go there, right? And you are close to the countryside and the region of Waterloo Airport. Moving on to Kitchener. So Kitchener has this unique shape here. And Kitchener-Cambridge, the border is right around here. Cambridge being on this side. The 401 basically splits Kitchener and Cambridge. On this side, you'll have the airport, the region of Waterloo, just outside of Kitchener. They built this bridge not too long ago, which connects Kitchener to Breslau. And finally, you have Waterloo here in the center. Now, Kitchener and Waterloo are almost amalgamated in a sense. On paper, they're not amalgamated, but in practice, they practically are. I mean, I live here in Kitchener, and I frequently travel to Waterloo. Waterloo does have a slightly different demographic there, because it does have a large student population with both the University of Waterloo and Laurier University. And Kitchener has a lot of young professionals. They're building a ton in downtown Kitchener. an absolute ton. The tallest buildings west of the water of Mississauga is located in Kitchener. So pretty cool. So the tallest building west of here, this is Toronto, and between Calgary is located in Kitchener. So you have this huge, large, expansive area here where there isn't any large developments going on other than here in the Waterloo region, which really makes us very unique. So moving on, we have St. Jacobs. Now, St. Jacobs is great, absolutely beautiful little town that they have there. Very quaint, picturesque. You're 5 minutes to the edge of Waterloo. You're 5 minutes, 10 minutes practically to Conestoga Mall. And you also have the St. Jacobs Farmers Market, which is the largest outdoor farmers market in Ontario, and it might be the largest one in Canada. And then, of course, you have Elmira up here. Now, Elmira is great. It has everything that you need, much like New Hamburg, but it is a little bit bigger than New Hamburg, and they continue to expand. Now, Westmount Rose has that bridge that's been used in many movies and many series, which is the Kissing Bridge, which is right down here. This red bridge here. Great place to take pictures. It's a really nice, quaint little village here of Westmount Rose. Again, just located outside of Waterloo. Conestoga is nice as well. Very affluent. Lots of great homes out there. Larger homes on larger lots. You have the Conestoga Golf Club here. And of course, it borders Waterloo, as you can see. And from here to Conestoga is about a 5-minute drive. So it's really nice. Here, these are probably a third of an acre lot to a half-acre lots. And you have these beautiful homes that encompass the golf course. I'll have future videos delving into the small townships and villages that encompass the Waterloo region, and I'll have subsequent videos on those. If you're thinking about buying or selling here in the Waterloo region, please fill out the first link in the description. Let's get back to the video. Let's take a look at the transit systems that are within the region. We'll first look at the light rail transit system as well as some of the bus routes. So the LRT, if you're not familiar with it, is the light rail transit in Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge. Cambridge is going to be the phase 2, which the timeline is yet to be determined. It looks like it might be 5 years in the future when they actually start working on the second part. But what is built right now is great. They have it starts at Conestoga Mall, which is the north end of Waterloo, and connects to Fairview Park Mall, which is located in the southeastern part of Kitchener. It has multiple stations here. I believe it's 16 stations. And yeah, it really differentiates us from a lot of cities within Canada, as we do have a smaller population here within the Waterloo region, and Kitchener and Waterloo together make up about 430,000 people. So there isn't any city in Canada under 500,000 that has an LRT system as built up as ours. Hamilton is working on theirs, but I mean, who wants to move to Hamilton? But yeah, we'll take a look at right here. So in the meantime, while this isn't being built up right now, they do have the adapted bus rapid transit system, which is quite nice, which connects Fairview Park Mall with Ainsley Street Terminal. And here's the Cambridge Center. And Ainsley Street Terminal is on the south end of Galt. So that's one thing to look at when moving here to the region is the transportation system. The transportation system, of course, in Kitchener-Waterloo is slightly better, especially here along the LRT as they continue to build new developments, tall buildings, 100 meters, 150 meters, even 175 meters, which is here right in the hub where you both have the GO train, which goes directly east to Toronto, and that happens daily, as well as you have the LRT here. So this is what it's called, the transit hub. Lots of new development happening out there, and it's really interesting to see the region go in this direction and how it plays out, really. And of course, being in North America, a lot of cities, including Kitchener and Waterloo, you might need a car depending where you live. If you are in the suburbs, which a lot of people are, you will need a car. So looking at the highway systems here, this here is Highway 401. This is the main artery pretty much in eastern or central Canada, as it goes from Windsor, the southwestern tip of Canada, or Ontario rather, the southern tip of Canada, which is right here. So it goes from here, 401, connects through Kitchener, Toronto, Montreal, and finally ends in Quebec City. And the majority of both Quebec and Ontario lie within about 100 kilometers of this highway, as it's an integral part of the country at this point. Looking at Kitchener and Cambridge here, and Waterloo, the 401 runs right between Kitchener and Cambridge. Woodstock is a half-hour drive. Again, great city too, as you're located both not just on the 401, but the 403 as well. Looking at the Waterloo region here, we have Cambridge, Kitchener, and Waterloo. So the Highway 401 is here. One thing about Cambridge is they don't have a built-up highway like we do have in Kitchener and Waterloo, where we have the expressway, which links Highway 8, 7, and 85 to Highway 401. And these are real highways. It's not a 2-lane, it's 4 to 6 lanes depending on where you are. We'll take a quick look at Highway 8 here. So if you are coming off the 401 from Toronto, you'll be able to get off here. This, of course, being, let's see right here. This is 8 lanes, 4 lanes on each side here. And traffic here really doesn't back up at any time of the day whatsoever, which is great. Going back to the street map here, 7 and 8. So this is Highway 8, which heads into New Hamburg again. You have 4 lanes going out this way. So getting onto the western side of the region is fairly quick. If you are commuting to Kitchener, this area is absolutely excellent in my opinion. And of course, you have Highway 85, which splits Highway 8 and 7 here and goes up towards the north end of Waterloo and leads into Elmira. And finally, I'd like to touch on some of the new expansion here, as well as the new areas being built up within the Waterloo region and kind of the new subdivisions. That's a question that I get quite often, is where is the region expanding? And one thing to look out for now is the province of Ontario has basically pushed the Waterloo region to open up some of the farmland here and develop in the future. So this is the map right here, 2051. We're looking at the expansion here. So the highlighted pink areas are the areas in which the region wants to expand into. So this is going to be mostly suburban areas, as the closer you get to these urban centers, which are highlighted in these circles, the older the infrastructure is and the new development that is happening within that area as those large buildings come in, Station E, Tech Tower, just to name a few. And then, of course, as you go out to the outer bounds of the region, you are going to get newer building, new developments. Here is Dune South, very popular. This continues to expand over time, as well as Huron, which is just west of Dune. And of course, Brislaw, this is a massive expansion out here. I'm not sure how this is going to play out into the future in terms of the amount of traffic, because the traffic going from Victoria Street, which is here, up into Highway 7, this has been debated on for years on when this will be expanded, because as of right now, it is a 2-lane road, which frankly isn't enough, and there is some traffic buildup if you are going from Kitchener to Guelph this way. You can also go Kitchener to Guelph via the 401 and then up. But it should be very interesting in the future how this expands, and the fact that they should expand this as soon as possible. It's not a requirement, but they've been talking about this since the 1970s. And then, of course, Elmira is opening up a little bit. New Hamburg, Baden, the city of Waterloo is getting to its borders here with a lot of great schools. I don't know if you've watched that video, but a lot of schools in the Waterloo region, the best ones, are located here in the west end of Waterloo, Laurelwood in particular. If you are looking for a suitable neighborhood or suitable neighborhoods, the west end of Waterloo, like Laurelwood, would be absolutely perfect for you and your family. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you got a lot of great content from it. I'll be making subsequent videos on both City of Kitchener, the City of Cambridge, and the City of Waterloo, and delving right in to a little bit more and talking about the specific city itself. This was just an overview of the Waterloo region. If you want to be kept to date when that video does drop, please hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.